Hi there. Are you looking to streamline your workflow in Attio? In this video, I'll show you how to make the most of Attio's notes and templates features. Perfect for staying organized, efficient, and keeping track of the details that matter most about your leads and customers. Now, when should you use a note versus an activity? I would suggest using notes to record important pieces of information, either from research or a conversation you had. For example, if you're doing research on a company and you find out that they're going on a hiring spree, that could be useful information to put under the company record as a note. Or maybe you find out that someone you just joined in a leadership position and might be relevant to speak with. You could create a contact record for that person and make note of that there. Or if you have a meeting with someone, let's say a discovery call, I would say that would be good information to put in a note. But if you call someone, let's say, and they say, hey, right now is not a good time, call me back this afternoon, that would be something I would log under an activity. And then I would create another activity to remind myself to call them back. Okay, so let's get into it. I'm in the notes section, but of course you can create a note from a person or company record. I'm just gonna get started in the note section here. So new note, and let's say I did some research on Bob and I found out that Bob recently joined the company as a VP of revenue. Previous experience at, I don't know, let's say Uber, could be a good person to speak with. This would be a good note to include. You can even give your note a title. So let's say research new to company. Okay, and now I'm going to just close this off. And you can see already that this note is saved here. And if I go into Bob, I can see here, added a note, research new to company, and I can even go ahead and add this to favorites. So add to favorites, and it would show up under your favorites tab on the left here. Favoriting notes is just a good way to, have the information easily accessible to you. As you can see here under favorites, maybe you're really targeting Bob's company or the company that he works at, and you just want to keep this information top of mind. Favoriting notes is a good way to do that. Now the next thing I'd like to show you is creating a note template. So if I go into create a note, create a template, so I think these are very helpful for things like discovery calls, onboarding calls, etc. Just anything where you have a list of standardized questions or just information that that you hope to seek from a lead or customer. I think these are very helpful instead of having to copy and paste from like a Google Doc or just having to retype your questions every time you're on a new discovery call. This way you can just pull up this template and then fill in the information while you're on the call. So I'm just going to name this discovery call, and then I'll just type in some standard questions. What made you take this call with us today? What does your current tech stack look like? What are you happy with? What do you want to improve on? What are some of the challenges you're facing when it comes to sales? Okay, great. So we have our mini discovery call template. And now I'm just going to close this off. And now I'm going to go back into create note, view all templates, and here it is. And this is of course where you would see all of your templates. And then this is where you would just fill in the information if you're on a discovery call with Bob. Now, if you think you'll be using this template a lot, a good thing to probably do would be to favorite it so that you can easily access it here on the left-hand side. And even when you go to create a note, it will be one of the first templates that you see. However, the one thing is you don't want to add to favorites when you're in Bob's record, just because if you add this to favorites, I'll show you here, add to favorites, you can see discovery call Bob Smith. That might not make the most sense unless Bob Smith is a really important person. So what you'll want to do instead is just go to your notes and then go to templates and then go to discovery call and then add to favorites. And then that way, when you're on any record, you could just easily pull up that discovery call template if you're on a discovery call. And another thing to add is if you have your calendar synced with Attio, you can link your note to an event. So if I had my calendar synced, my events for the day would show up here, and I could just simply link this note with that event there, which is super helpful as well. I hope this video was helpful, and I hope you have a better idea now of how notes and note templates work in Attio.